All right. I see that we are live. Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are doing good and staying safe. Lindsay, I'll probably take just a second to text out the link so we can get some more people on. I don't see anyone right now.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sure we will in just a bit. If you are here, pop in the chat and say, hey, and there's the kitty cat, and I can't ever remember his name.
Her name is Brady Cat.
You said, okay, so it's a her, my bad. And you said it was Brady?
Yeah, like Brady Cat.
Oh, yeah. Okay. How do I have a hard time remembering that? That's such a cute name. I like it.
We just call her Kitty.
Well, I hope Kitty will join us again. All right, let me get this text out. Hey, Lindsay, I sent the text out to quite a few people. I don't see anyone yet, but I bet we will have a few folks hop on in just a minute. Are you okay if we go ahead and get started?
Yeah, we can get started. I'm happy to do that.
But we can also wait if you would like to, because we might have people pop on in just a couple minutes.
What do you think? How did it work? How did it work last week? Did people show up late or?
Well, attendance was a little bit better last week. This is kind of strange that we don't have anyone on. Let me refresh the page, make sure. Sorry if you guys are tuning in and I'm missing you guys. Yeah, it says one watching and it's me. Okay, Bree says hi.
Okay.
So Bree's here. That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think we can go and get started if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Cool.
Okay. Can you see my screen? Can you see the screen where it says small talk? All right, cool. Okay. We're talking about small talk.
Sorry, I was unmuted, but yeah, it looks good.
All right, cool. Thank you. Yeah, so this is just like tips on how to have conversations with people that you maybe don't know very well or are meeting for the first time, or even strangers, just making small talk. And some of you might already be like really good at this. And some of you might be like me and need tips because you're introverted and might have some social anxiety. So I dug up some tips on how to have small talk. The first thing we're going to do is, if you can picture when you're just like walking on the sidewalk or walking, like you're shopping, like you're out and about running errands, and you're just passing people, you don't know them. They're walking their dog, they're going for a run, they're out shopping, whatever they're doing. A lot of people tend to avoid eye contact, right? And just like ignore like the other person. So this is some encouragement to try to connect with people that you encounter while you're just like going about doing like living your day. So you could be like, just walking around on the weekend or any day, and you pass someone that you don't know on the street. So if you pass a stranger on the street, obviously say hello, right? Like you want to have like a confident posture, because if you have a confident posture, they're probably going to respond back to you. So like make sure that you're like, your shoulders are back, up straight, you're smiling. Maybe if you're not smiling with your mouth, at least smile with your eyes. You're looking them in the eye. You can say hello, hey, good morning, how's it going? Whatever you want. Speak loudly and clearly. And this is to like anyone, like literally any person. And if you're doing this with everyone, then the less weird it is. If you're just like picking and choosing, it might get uncomfortable. But what you might want to do is just say, hello, hey, good morning. Or if you really want to level it up and you're just passing someone, you could say, cute dog, I like your shoes, I like your purse, it's hot out today, it's cold out today, whatever. Just like something that's different than hello. Hello is good, hi is good, good morning, whatever. But also maybe you can give some sort of like emotional personal tie. So these are just some suggestions. If you're in a small group setting or you're meeting someone for the first time, here's some questions or some tips that you can ask. So maybe you're like going over to a friend's house and some people that you don't know. Maybe you're going to like a new environment and you don't know people there. So you're getting to know someone either like one-on-one or in like a small group. So people love to talk about themselves. And especially if you're an introverted person or even an extroverted person, the easiest way to make other people like you or be interested in you is actually to get them to talk about themselves. Because what you can do is you can have a conversation with someone and they could only talk about themselves for like 30 minutes. And then like you guys like split ways. And you're like, man, like they wouldn't stop talking. And the other person that couldn't stop is like, I like her. Like she's nice. So there's something about when other people, when they talk about themselves or they're given that opportunity, they seem to think the other person is like an amazing, wonderful person and they like them just because you listen to them. So one way to get them talking is to like get really curious, like tap into that curiosity and start asking them questions about themselves. So, and then when you ask them a question, don't tune out, don't look at your phone, don't look around the room, don't zone out. Actually like lock in and listen to what they're saying. Make eye contact, not too much, nod your head, smile, like whatever you want to do to show that like, yes, I'm listening to you. And once you get them talking, they'll probably just like, we'll keep talking. And it's really important that you don't interrupt. And then you also aren't one of those people that are like, yeah, I just got back from vacation, visiting my grandma in New York, and be like, oh, I've been to New York. Yeah, like this is the time that I was to New York with my family when I was like 8 years old. These are all the things that I did when I was there. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that person. We just want to like let them talk about themselves and let them finish their story. And maybe if you have something to add, you know, you can add it, but don't be the person that's always trying to like level up or one up the other person. And also pay attention to their body language. If they're making gestures, maybe you do that too. If they're like tilting their head, maybe do that too. If they're leaning up against the wall, you know, you might think about doing that too. So try to mirror what they're doing, and that automatically makes you feel like more connected to them. The thing about eye contact is if you hold eye contact for more than like 3 to 5 seconds, it really feels like staring. So you want to just be like aware, like, I guess I'm looking at you in your eyes. I'm also not like piercing into your soul. Okay. So when you just meet someone, obviously you can ask them, you know, their name. If you're in a group, you can ask them like, do you know anyone else here? It's also okay to ask them, like, are you around here? Like, where are you originally from? Some like history about them. Some other good ones are like, what do you do? Like, what do you do? Like, what's your job? Obviously, what do you like doing when you're not working? What do you like about your job? You can ask them about their plans for their weekend. These are all like really safe, like, let's just have a conversation and get to know each other. You could do this on the elevator. You could do this at a party. You could do this when you're out to eat with people. Like, it doesn't matter. These are like really good, safe questions when you're just trying to break the ice and get to know someone. Okay, here's some questions not to ask. Okay, so are you pregnant? Or when's the baby due? Okay, so what you don't want to do is make the mistake of asking a non-pregnant person when their baby is due, right? Like that gets very uncomfortable. So just maybe don't ask. If they bring up their baby, talk about their baby. Like, that's the game, right? Also, don't assume they're excited about having their baby. Like some people are like, oh, congratulations. Like, yeah, I'm not excited. So just be very careful with those situations and never assume that someone is pregnant. Okay, you also don't want to ask someone how much money they make. What do you earn? Oh, you're an accountant. Wow, you must make a lot of money. How much money do you make? Like, you don't want to go down that rabbit hole that makes them feel uncomfortable. Or if you know that they've broken up with someone recently, you probably don't want to ask the details. Why did you guys break up? Oh, did he cheat on you? Is there someone else? Oh, I never liked him. Like, you don't want to go there. Okay, have you lost weight? I know this one might be like, what? But you might not want to ask someone if they've lost weight. Some people get very self-conscious about this, and so they might have gained some weight pretty rapidly, or maybe they just had a baby and they're just trying to get back to like their previous size. And so if you make a big deal about their weight loss, that might actually make them feel self-conscious. Of course, if they bring up their weight loss, you can ask them about what they've been doing, or you can just say like, wow, you're looking really good. Like, what are you doing? But maybe don't ask them specifically, have you lost weight? Because that might not be well received. Okay, so for someone that's been single for a long time, maybe don't ask them if they're seeing anyone or if they're going to settle down. Again, people have their reasons. So try not to point out like maybe deficits in their life. They might not be comfortable, or they might be super comfortable, and that's just how they want to live their life. They want to be single, but try not to pry. Same thing if with a couple, like, when are you guys going to get married? Or a married couple, when are you guys going to have kids? Or if they have kids, are you going to have another kid? When are you going to have another kid? These questions can be like, feel really invasive. And if you've ever been on the receiving end, you know what I'm talking about, where it's just like, man, I don't want to have kids. I don't want to date anybody right now. I don't want to get married right now. Whatever it is, just remember how it feels when you're on the receiving end. And then don't ask, try to be respectful in return. Okay, and the last thing that I want to talk about is when someone asks you these questions, what do you do, right? Like, someone's like, have you lost weight? Are you going to get married? Are you going to have kids? Are you going to go back to school? Why don't you have a job? Like, sometimes you just don't want to answer the question, and that is totally fine. So when someone is trying to get you to answer a question that you are not comfortable answering, here are a few options. I'm sorry, it's just personal. I don't want to talk about it. I don't know. Sorry. I can't answer that right now. I'm not able to answer that right now. I'm not comfortable answering that question. Here's what I can tell you right now. Like, you can flip it and be like, okay, well, I'm willing to answer part of that question. Here's what I can tell you right now. You know, why are you single? Why haven't you found a job? Well, I'm going through some things right now and I just want to focus on. So I will start my job search once I get everything settled. Or why aren't you married? Well, you know, we're just taking it slow. But you know, just it's pretty personal. So we're taking it slow and we're taking our time and we're going to do what's right for us. Like, you don't need to give anyone details. You don't owe anyone details. So if anyone ever asks you a question and you are not comfortable answering, then by all means, politely just let them know, like, hey, I'm not comfortable. I'm not going to answer that. Okay. So that's small talk in every possible situation. So whether you're meeting a stranger, you're in a small group setting, you just met someone, things not to ask, and then how to address questions that you are not comfortable asking. So with that, I will turn it over to you guys and see if you have any questions, or if you have any other tips, let us know. We can talk about it.
That's awesome, Lindsay. So you've given me something to think about, because I'm the type of person who kind of likes to clap back at people if they ask me really uncomfortable questions. You have to be careful. Some people think that's really funny and can be like, oh, that was a nice way of her telling me that I shouldn't have asked that. But that doesn't exactly work on everyone. So I do have to be careful. It's perfectly fine to just be like, I don't really want to talk about that, or that's a little personal, or I'm not able to answer. I think that's really good advice, because I get asked uncomfortable questions all the time. So it's a good reminder. I think this topic's really cool. I have never attended any type of class kind of on the very basics of social interaction, and I think that's really important, because it can be hard, for sure. I have years of experience socially interacting with people, and I still get it wrong from time to time. So I think this is cool. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people with us, which is really awesome. So that being said, do you guys have any questions or comments about what we've learned tonight? We've talked about polite ways to greet people, appropriate and maybe inappropriate questions to ask and to not ask. What else, Lindsay? I'm trying to remember back through all the slides.
Yeah, and that's, yeah. So yeah, when you meet people for the first time, just some questions to break the ice. You know, if you have any other suggestions, then like, yeah, please put those in the chat. Or if someone's ever asked you a question that you're uncomfortable with, maybe you can put that in the chat and we can be like, okay, this is how we might handle that situation.
Yeah, that's good. I saw a really good example of breaking the ice actually in the OC not too long ago. So we've been breaking out the Nintendo Switch in our center, which is super fun. But I've seen a lot of people, we have a lot of new youth almost every single day. And this is the first time in Immerse's history that we can almost guarantee that we'll see someone new pretty much every day, at least 3 times a week, if anything. And so what I'll see people playing the Switch, and you can have 2 people play at a time. But I got to see one person who was playing by themselves and ask one of the new people, hey, do you want to play this game with me? And I don't think they had spoken that day. That was just a way to break the ice. And then after a while, as they were playing the game together, they were sharing resources and talking about when they were going to come back to Immerse next and what they were going to do next time they were here. So I thought that was really cool. It's cool to see the ice being broken in front of you. So
that's awesome.
I think that's great. I love that. I thought that was a great thing to witness.
Totally. Yes.
Yep. Well, what do you guys think? Do you have any questions or comments about breaking the ice? Lindsay, I'm glad you mentioned the bit about making comfortable eye contact, because that can definitely be, I think there are people that take eye contact like really seriously. I mean, even something as like minor as kind of blinking slightly longer than usual helps. Looking away for a second to move a strand of hair out of your face, but not too much, because it can look really bad when you're doing this. I'm really bad about touching my hair all the time. So that. But it is not polite to stare someone down and not move like a robot and just look into their eyes, boring into someone. You don't want to be doing that. But eye contact is important. You just have to have a balance with it.
So. Totally. Yeah. Anything more than 3 to 5 seconds, which doesn't sound like much, but if you were to like count it out, like that can be forever. Like you're just like piercing into them. So just try to like break it up, naturally and look away, at least for like a little second.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay. So if we're going to wait on just in case, like I know there's a lag while we're waiting on anyone to add anything in the chat. I do have like a little, it was a reflection that was used in a meeting. That's like a little story, inspirational story that I want to share with you guys. It has nothing to do with this, by the way. So like, I'm just like killing time, but I kind of love it. So I want to share it with you guys.
I think that sounds awesome. I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Okay. So it's actually a story. It's about a spider monkey. Okay. And I've got it in front of me. So if you don't know anything about spider monkeys, they primarily live in Central and South America, and they're super tiny and they're really, really fast. Okay. And so they were becoming a nuisance in the country. And so the hunters would try to catch the spider monkeys, and they were so small and so fast, they couldn't catch them with nets. They couldn't catch them with like the tranquilizer guns. So someone came up with the idea of using a big milk, like a big jug. And it has like a really narrow net. And they put a peanut in that jug. And so the spider monkey goes over and it wants that peanut. So it sticks its hand in the jug and it gets the peanut. And then it can't get its little monkey hand out of this jug because it's clenching on to the peanut. And all it had to do was let go of the peanut, and it wouldn't do it. And the jug was so big, these little monkeys are so small that it couldn't drag away, it couldn't escape. So it was stuck. Like all it had to do was let go of this one peanut. And you could have dumped a whole truckload of peanuts, a truckload of bananas, whatever spider monkeys eat, and they would not let go. And I think that's just like a really good reminder, because I think sometimes we get so like obsessed with a grudge or a project or an opportunity or a goal or something in a habit. We become like super obsessed, right? That our friends and family are like, let it go, move on. And we can't, because like, even all of this is happening, like this truck of peanuts is over here, like right in front of us. We need this one right here. And all we have to do is let it go. And there's this whole other world of opportunity. So I thought that was like such a really, just like a good reminder of just like letting go, letting God, moving on, letting opportunities happen to you. We get so fixated on one thing that we're not willing to take something even better. So I just wanted to share that with you. It has nothing to do with this.
I love that. I hope that you guys tuning in were able to hear that and think about what that's saying. I think it's really important, because sometimes you've latched on to something and you think it's a good thing, but you'd be better off without it, and you can pick up something better later. So that's real. That's real. I like that, Lindsay. What inspired you to share?
Oh, yeah, so I actually got it from someone that I was working with. We do like a reflection before all of our team meetings, and this was his reflection. And so he emailed it to me. And so it's basically, it turned into a prayer of just like trusting the Lord to like basically take control of your life. But it was in this context of the spider monkey, and I really liked it. So I've been sharing it with everybody.
I like it. I like it. It has the potential to hit really close to home to me. So that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And we do have some discussion in the chat. It's about some unrelated things. I was chatting with the youth about work. But we got two people. I know before we picked up the emotional competency and before the financial series, we were talking about work, and we've got some employed youth on here. I love that. I love that.
Good.
Very cool. Well, I think that might be it for discussion. I'll close us out with an announcement. I wanted to remind you guys, a lot of you have already spoken to, but just in case, the focus groups that I've been talking about for a while now, those are happening on Thursday at 3 p.m. As long as you have had any experience with running away, whether that's been like in the last year or at any point in your life, it doesn't matter. If you have any experience with running away and you'd be willing to get in a group with some other youth and talk openly about those experiences in an effort to help us researchers come up with community solutions, that is very much appreciated, but it is definitely not a requirement. It's just if you want to do it. So I'll leave that there for you guys to think about. Contact me if you are interested in doing that. Most of you have my phone number. I'm pretty sure everyone on here does. So yeah, could be a cool opportunity for you guys. And I'm gonna try to make it fun. We're gonna do a meme activity. Gonna have like snacks and stuff. It'll be good. It'll be a fun time. So yeah. Well, that is all I've got, Lindsay. I am not seeing any activity in the chat right now. Did you have anything to bless us with before we close it out?
That's it. That's all I got this week.
Cool. All righty, guys. Well, I'm happy I got to see 5 of you virtually. That makes me happy. So you guys be safe, and you know where we will be next Tuesday at